Hi, it's John from North Star Nursery, Garden and Home, your coastal gardener. I'm doing a little housekeeping on this little Bareroot apple tree. It's Bareroot season, if you didn't already guess. We have Bareroot Fruit Trees. We have Bareroot roses in full effect. And they don't do Bareroot blueberries anymore, but we definitely have potted blueberries if you're looking to do anything as far as berries are concerned, and also caneberries. But today is about fruit trees. So I don't usually grab a tree and bring it in because I like to keep them in the soil. But I figured I would just show you because it's easier than talking about it. I think visual cues are so much better. So this is an Anna apple. This apple variety is actually geared for Southern California. So it doesn't have as much of a high frost need or chill hours. It has low chill hours, which works very well for us here. On average, our chill hours are roughly around 800, depending on where you are on the coast. Of course, the closer to the coast, the less chill hours. The further inland, the better chill hours you have. Now, I have had success with Honeycrisp, which is an 800-hour chill requirement, actually at my house. And we are, I don't know, what would you say from the ocean? How far? Quarter mile from the ocean. So it did very well until the deer rutted it, and now it's gone. Oh, speaking of which, sorry guys. I'm going to show you this too. So I want to talk a little bit about selecting a tree when you come in, if you're not being helped by one of us and you're doing it solo. You want to look for one that has a good balanced shape. You know, this one has a good balanced shape in the sense that there are kind of opposing branches down low that are going to give you that structure of balance. A lot of people will want to keep their trees smaller, which is completely doable. We have some frost peaches that I have in 18-inch terracotta heavy rim pots in our demonstration garden. If you want to come down and see those and talk to one of us about it, you can kind of see how we pruned them. And we're going to keep pruning them like that, keeping them small and compact. You still get a lot of fruit. You're just kind of managing the excess green growth as the season progresses. This guy, if I were to take this home, I would actually cut to some outside nodes. These are the little nubs at the end. You want to make sure you're always going to outside nodes because you're always looking to bring the shape out. You don't want to have a lot of stuff coming inward. So on this little guy, I'm just going to do a quick down and dirty pruning. The other thing to know too is if you did want your tree to get bigger, taller, I mean, you could leave these lower branches on and cut them shorter. The reason we leave them on as the tree is developing is that the leaf structure that's here helps to develop what's called the caliper or the thickness of the trunk. If you are trying to keep it short, of course, you could then top it literally up here and only keep it like 4 or 5 feet. I'm doing that with some fruit trees at home also, some apples. And after I had the success I had at home, I did the ones that are here, which are frost peaches. We have 3 of them in there. They produced really well last year. So definitely an option to keep things tiny or smaller. If you want it to get taller, of course, just make sure, a little hard to tell, but I'll bring it down here. This is what we call the center leader. You can kind of tell because this one shoots off to the side and this one is going up. You would leave this if you want to let your tree get tall. Now, there's lots of thoughts on that. If you want it taller, sometimes you want it taller so you can keep the deer away from it. Or maybe you just want a taller tree in general. So if you want that, leave that alone and let it keep going. If by chance you're just kind of happy with it, you know, kind of branching here and coming out, you could top it just at the very tip. On this guy that sticks out, I would probably take that down, but I'm going to leave it just in case the next owner wants to do something different with it. So for the most part, what I have done when they came in, Gabe and I processed all of the bare root, and we went through and we took off any, this is why there's a cut here, any broken roots. If for some reason when you get home and you have any broken large roots, go ahead and cut them off. But for the most part, we cleaned them all up. Ooh, there's a little one. You can tell because it just flips a little bit easier than the, look at that, I missed a few. I'm fired. So that's kind of the selecting aspect of it. There are lots of varieties of apples that work here. And so just so you know, all of the varieties that we carry here are geared towards our area. I do not bring things in that will not work here. Work here being from the ocean to 2 miles in. Anybody that's 2 miles out and more has the benefit of colder temps and warmer temps. So things get more chill hours and they ripen much better. So if you wanted to do stone fruits in a big way, other than the ones that we carry, you would want to be at least 2 miles out or further. And then you could start doing some other varieties that we don't carry. Other peaches, other nectarines, things like that. When you go to plant your tree, you want to consider putting it in a gopher cage if you're having gopher issues. Do not plant a tree that you just spent a bunch of money on in a hole and hope for it to be okay. Because gophers love tree roots. They love all roots that are chunky. This is a 5-gallon size, and this would pretty much be adequate for like 90% of the trees that are out there. There's a few of the ornamentals and a few of the fruit bearing that would require a what's called a 15-gallon or a tree size cage. These have a little direction thing on the back for how to fold it out. It's pretty much just a flat envelope that you fold up and push the little sides in. It's pretty straightforward. If you're not sure, let us know. The other thing is when you are planting a tree, you want to make sure that you're setting it up for success for the years ahead. Part of that is digging the hole twice as wide, to be careful, twice as wide as the root mass, or as big as the cage is that you're putting it in. Then you want to backfill your soil, your native soil, 50% native, 50% fir mulch. And at the very base of the hole, you want to put 3 cups of Sure Start. This has the beneficial microbes that actually help digest the nutrients in the soil, and they live in the soil from now on once you apply it. So this is really, really a good fertilizer for starting any plant. I probably should get a kickback from E.B. Stone because I suggest it at almost every turn. But it is a really good fertilizer, and we use it religiously here at the nursery. If you are looking at existing fruit trees and you want to fertilize them, these organic fruit tree spikes from Job's are very good. And depending on the size of the tree, it has a little diagram on the back that basically says if it's 1 to 2 feet tall, or 1 to 2 inches in diameter, you use 3 spikes. If it's 3 inches in diameter, which is the caliper of the trunk, you use 5, so on and so forth. These are really, really good. They're organic. The only thing you have to be careful of is make sure you pound them down into the soil pretty far, because They are organic, which means they have bone meal, and the critters like to dig on them. The other thing to consider is you could do a citrus and fruit tree food, and this would be scratched into the top of the soil and watered in really well. Again, make sure it's watered in really well because you don't want the critters to come after it. Also, dormant spraying. We've talked about this since probably October, November. We are going to warm up probably, well, warm, relative. The sun is out, and so I think the trees are going to kind of come into bloom sooner than they would normally. So you want to try to get your dormant spraying done. That is done. Uh-oh, I grabbed the wrong bottle. Hold on just a second. Boy, it's hard to get good help around here. Let's see. Hi, Bodie. You want to use horticultural oil and copper fungicide. Horticultural oil is used to suffocate any overwintering insects, and the copper is used to squelch out the overwintering disease, like peach leaf curl, shot hole fungus, powdery mildew, any of those things. This is what you would use. In theory, we would like to get 3 sprays on the tree before popcorn stage. Popcorn stage is the point where the blooms are coming out, but they're not open. So once the blooms open, you can't spray. If for some reason you didn't get your sprays on and you wanted to hit it later, you could do it after the fruit developed, but you wouldn't want to do anything while the flowers are open because that will cancel out your pollination, and that would be horrible. So the ratio on these, and again, if you come in, we can go over this again, but it's 3 tablespoons of this, 3 tablespoons of this into 1 gallon of water. When you read the label, it says put 3 tablespoons in a gallon for this and 3 for this, but you can combine them, perfectly acceptable. Spray your tree, and then rinse and repeat as many times as you can. If you can get 2 or 3 sprays before popcorn stage, that would be awesome because that will really, really help with all of the icky issues. These I bought last year, and I really thought they were really cool, but basically what they are is they're a tree wrap that wraps around the trunk of the tree. And what that does is it protects it from the deer rutting on it. It won't protect from the deer just chewing on the leaves. So if you're having that kind of a problem, then you want to consider caging it. And when I say caging it, probably a 3 or 4 foot circle of at least 4 foot high wire. I know that's sometimes not very attractive, but to get the tree established, it's kind of recommended. Or doing this. You could also, if you wanted to, as long as you don't have fruit on the tree, spray the leaves with liquid fence. You just would not want to spray it on the fruit because that would be very bad tasting. Let's see. Did I cover it all? I think I did. I hope you guys are having a great day. It was gorgeous yesterday. There were lots of people coming in and having a lot of fun. And so I will look forward to seeing you at the nursery.